This winter, my power bill hit $240, same as always. My neighbor's was zero. I had heard people claim this before, but his yard looked exactly like mine. No solar panels, no wind turbines, nothing I recognized. Then he showed me what he had been running in his garage. A machine that spins in a sealed vacuum and needs no fuel, no batteries, nothing that wears out. It produces electricity as long as it turns. I had never heard of it, and once I understood how it works, I understood exactly why. Here is why you have never heard of it either. Because for the past 10 years, one technology has dominated every conversation about home energy storage, and the companies selling it have spent billions making sure you never looked at anything else. Lithium-ion batteries. They are in your phone, your laptop, and the expensive home backup systems that get advertised during every news program you watch. They are in the power walls being installed in garages across America every week. The pitch is always the same. Buy this battery, store your solar energy, protect yourself from blackouts, pay less to the grid. But lithium has a dirty secret that nobody mentions when they are selling you that power wall. It degrades. Every single charge and discharge cycle slowly murders the chemistry inside. After 3,000 to 8,000 cycles, depending on quality, your battery holds a fraction of what it once did. It is sensitive to temperature. Too cold, and it loses capacity. Too hot, and it becomes a fire risk. It requires mining in places that make supply chains fragile. And most critically, when your air conditioner kicks on and demands a surge of power in under 10 milliseconds, a lithium battery hesitates. It calculates. It warms up. And in that gap, your system strains, efficiency drops, and the battery ages a little faster than it did the day before. This is why flywheels, a technology as old as the pottery kickwheel, as old as the spinning top your grandchildren set loose on the kitchen floor, are being brought back with aerospace precision to solve a problem that chemical batteries were never designed to fix. This is why Taurus Energy exists, and this is why my neighbor's power bill is zero. Here is how it actually works. Because the physics is where the AWE lives. Imagine a massive steel cylinder, precisely balanced and machined to tolerances measured in fractions of a millimeter, spinning inside a vacuum-sealed chamber on magnetic bearings that eliminate almost all physical contact between moving parts. No friction worth measuring, no air resistance inside the chamber, almost nothing touching anything else. When your rooftop solar panels produce more electricity than your home needs, which happens every clear afternoon, that excess power drives a motor that spins this rotor faster. The energy is not stored as chemical potential trapped inside a battery cell. It is stored as pure motion. Kinetic energy locked into the speed of the spin. The faster it turns, the more energy it holds. When your home needs power, when the grid flickers, when the storm knocks out the line, when your air conditioner starts pulling current on the hottest afternoon of the summer, the motor instantly becomes a generator. The flywheel slows by an imperceptible fraction of its rotational speed and converts that stored motion back into clean, stable electricity flowing into your home. There is no chemical reaction to wait for, no management system to negotiate with, no warm-up period, just the immediate violent generosity of physics. Round-trip efficiency runs between 85 and 95%. The system does not care whether the temperature outside is -20 or +40. It does not catch fire. It does not degrade with each cycle because there is no chemistry to degrade. It is just a spinning mass in a vacuum, and a spinning mass in a vacuum will keep spinning for decades. Your solar panels, freed from the constraints of a battery that can only accept charge so fast, finally operate at their true potential. Your home stops being a passive consumer of utility power and starts being something else entirely. The company that brought this from aerospace laboratories into American homes and utility substations is Taurus Energy, founded in 2021 in South Salt Lake City, Utah. The gigawatt manufacturing campus is operational. The Nova Spin flywheels are spinning. The Nova Pulse battery systems are cycling. And what CEO Nate Walkingshaw calls the distributed utility layer is not a pitch deck fantasy. It is a physical reality being installed right now at data centers, cement plants, airports, and utility substations across the country. Taurus has already deployed across more than 230 installations this year, managing more than 1 gigawatt of facility power. They just secured $200 million in a new investment to scale manufacturing to more than 1 gigawatt of production capacity per quarter within 3 years. These are not prototype numbers. These are factory numbers. The Nova Spin flywheel reacts in under 250 milliseconds and delivers 20 times the power density of a chemical battery, absorbing the sharp spikes and sudden load demands that grind lithium cells to dust. The Nova Pulse lithium iron phosphate battery handles the longer work. Hours of overnight backup, steady base load when the sun is not shining, the sustained discharge a flywheel was never designed to provide. Together they form something that has no good existing name. This is not a battery. This is not a generator. This is a modular power plant that sits on your property, responds to electrical demands in 5 to 8 milliseconds, achieves 99.9% uptime, and makes your home immune to the cascading failures that leave millions of Americans in the dark every year. Rocky Mountain Power, the utility serving Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and Northern California, has signed a formal agreement with Taurus, covering up to 500 megawatts of demand response capacity, building on an initial 70 megawatt agreement that was fulfilled within 6 months of signing. Governor Spencer Cox of Utah publicly endorsed this partnership as part of Operation Gigawatt, a state initiative to double power production over the next decade. Salt Lake City International Airport is running Taurus systems to protect critical operations. Ash Grove Cement and DR Mountain Resorts have adopted the technology for industrial reliability. These are not early adopters chasing a trend. These are conservative operators in industries where a single hour of power failure costs real money. People who have tested this technology against everything else on the market and found that it outperforms. Now bring this to your own garage, because the residential application is where the numbers become personal. When your flywheel is spinning and your solar panels are charging it, you are drawing nothing from the grid during the hours when utility rates are highest. When the grid fails, and in this country it will fail, your home stays lit while your neighbors are in the dark. When the storm passes and power returns, your system reconnects automatically. You do not reset clocks. You do not lose the contents of the freezer. You do not make calls to the utility company. Your flywheel handles the brutal daily work without wearing out. The constant charge and discharge of solar production. The surge when your heat pump starts on a January morning. The inrush when the compressor kicks on at 2 in the morning. It absorbs all of this because there is no chemistry to degrade. It lasts 25,000 full cycles or more, decades, not years. When your lithium battery has worn through its useful life, the flywheel is still spinning. The lithium iron phosphate battery alongside it lasts longer too. Because the flywheel absorbs the punishment, the battery only handles the long, steady work it was designed for. Both systems last longer, and your monthly bill to the utility company gets smaller until, for some people, it reaches zero. The only question is how long it takes for this to reach your garage. The United States electrical grid is aging, and it is struggling. In Texas, grid managers are already curtailing power to large customers during peak emergencies. In California, wildfire risk forces shut-offs that leave communities dark for days. The model of massive centralized beer stations and transmission lines strung across thousands of miles is under a strain it was not built to handle. Most Americans over 60 have lived through enough blackouts, enough rate increases, enough promises from utility companies that never quite arrived, to know that waiting for the grid to get better is not a plan. The grid has been promising to get better for 40 years. Taurus places the power plant where the demand actually lives, at the edge of the grid, on your property, in your neighborhood. No new transmission corridors, no fuel deliveries. The complete system is designed and manufactured within 150 miles of its South Salt Lake headquarters, creating the first fully North American supply chain for this category of technology. Energy independence, not as a slogan, as a physical fact sitting in your garage. The dream of getting off the grid has always been caught between two impossible choices: the dirty reliability of fossil fuels and the clean fragility of chemical batteries. For most American homeowners, neither has ever been quite good enough. Taurus has found a third path. It stores sunlight as motion. It converts motion back to power in the blink of an eye. It pairs the ancient physics of the spinning wheel with the modern precision of magnetic levitation and vacuum engineering. It does not degrade. It does not pollute. It does not ask for fuel. And it is being manufactured at scale right now in Utah, with installations happening this year, with utility partnerships signed, with industrial customers already running. My neighbor stopped waiting for the utility company to solve a problem it had no incentive to solve. The machine in his garage is not a gadget. It is not an experiment. It is the first version of a power infrastructure that does not depend on the aging grid, the global supply chain for lithium, or the monthly bill that has been arriving at your door for as long as you can remember. The grid, as we know it, is dying. The distributed utility is being born. And the first people to understand that are already paying nothing. If this is the kind of story that changes how you see your next power bill, subscribe and drop a comment below. Tell me what your bill looked like this winter, and tell me whether you think your neighbor already knows something you do not.